that bright light in the sky?
I think it's called the sun.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's a sunny day, isn't it?
Yeah, sunny day.
The road's in really bad shape up here. But still, if you have the right kind of four-wheeler, you could sneak by. Here's the location of the town of Hawthorne, Nevada, just south of Walker Lake, and it is along US 95, which is the main route between Las Vegas to the south and Reno in the north. There's Lake Tahoe. The H itself is approximately 4 miles west of the town of Hawthorne. Here's a rendition showing its size. It was built in 1929. It took 3 years to build. Just the top of the letter itself, where we were, is 30 feet wide, and it is 115 feet tall. That's the big H that represents Hawthorne, Nevada, in Mineral County. If you look really close, you can actually see the H in the distance on the hill. Let's go into the Mineral County Museum and see what kind of information Kelly may have found concerning the big H on the hill. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Did you find any information about that big H on the hill?
Yes, I did. Let's go take a look.
Where are we going? Back in the archives?
Well, I've got something written over here
That you found? Okay.
Yeah, and I think you'll find that interesting, so I'm going to read it to you.
So, Kelly, what did you find for us?
Well, what I found out is the H, it took over 3 years to build, and it was done in 1929. And they took the freshman class from high school, and it was a freshman initiation, and they bussed them all to the bottom of the hill, and then they had to hike up there, get the rocks, put them up, and then they had to whitewash all the rocks.
That's a pretty steep hill. We know because we went up there, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's very steep.
So, Kelly, it's interesting for me because, as you know, when we went up to the H, I kept saying the M. That's because I went to school in Missoula, and the University of Missoula, Montana, has a big M on the side of the mountain next to the city of Missoula. And it was kind of interesting because they always said that, oh, we put that up in 1918, the engineering department. We were the first one to put a mountain monogram up, which are very common in the West. And as you know, the state of Nevada has 47 mountain monograms throughout the state of Nevada. And I thought it was interesting because the more I keep doing these adventures with you with the museum, the more I keep learning, the more I keep appreciating our neighbor state of Utah. Because Utah was the first state, apparently, that put up a mountain monogram at Brigham Young University in 1906 and then at the University of Utah in 1907. So I thought that was interesting. So ours is a little bit after the University of Montana, but still they weren't the first one.
You know, I found it interesting that I had just read in a book just this morning that Berkeley had put up the C over near their university for California in about 1906. I thought that was a pretty interesting
So it
thing.
looks like Utah and California were tied.
Yes. I got some of this information from my friend Heidi Bunch. She used to write for the newspaper years ago. And what she told me is there was a resurgence in 1978 because over time, you know, a lot of that painting kind of faded. But a class reunion in 1978 got together and they went up and repainted the H. And now they do it regularly, and it is, you know, you can still see it from the side of the mountain.
That must have taken a lot of paint because when we went up there and measured it, remember the one length was significantly over 100 feet long, and those letters are a lot bigger than you think they are.
Oh,
and
yes.
I would read that the University of Montana, where they have the M instead of the H, they regularly use 100 gallons of paint. That's 25-gallon buckets of paint.
That's probably pretty close.
What are we up to today, Kelly?
Well, we finally got our snow, so we decided not to take a chance on getting on the roads. It might be just a little too dangerous today. So we are just going to do a local hike. We're hoping to do about 8 miles round trip. So we're going to head up into those mountains.
We're really glad to get this snow, aren't we?
Oh, we need it.
Yeah, it's been really dry out in the west, everybody.
Oh, super dry.
Drought.
A little too dry.
And we're just so glad to get this snow. Kelly, it's almost like a whiteout out here right now with the snow. It's a good thing that I've been up here several times. I know my way around, so I'm not going to get lost. But
yeah, we won't get lost.
Yeah. Kind of enjoying this walk, Kelly.
I am too. You know, it's so far it's better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, keeps us off the road. The roads are all icy, and
I'm really
the mountain
glad.
passes.
No
And this
way.
is just right next to our home, and we can just walk on up here. So that's what the beauty about it.
Look, that's looking back towards town. You can't even see the town anymore.
You can see the sagebrush in here. This area is actually very hot and dry during the summer.
Oh yeah.
And even if you notice the type of sagebrush that's here, it's the type that really handles a lot more heat and a little bit drier. So this isn't like some of the sage that you see over by Mono Lake. This is a different type.
Yeah, definitely different.
And we're heading up in there. I'm not sure if you can see the mountain yet. It's that direction.
Usually you see antelope right out here in this area. I often see them walking around, but you know, they can move pretty, you know, easily, so they may not be here today.
Those are one of my favorite animals to see in our area, the antelope.
Yeah.
We're heading right up to that mountain. It's hard to see it. Jackrabbit. There he is. That's a hare. See him?
See Hawthorne up that way. We're gonna go up this way on the ridge.
We're gonna follow this ridge the whole way. It's like a roller coaster. It goes up and down like that. You can't see where we're going, it's in the clouds. We're starting to hit a little wind up on this ridge.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big black-tailed jackrabbit, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was kind of cool wandering around out here.
It was interesting on our hike up into the into the mountains there, that we had a raven that followed us pretty much the whole way, and it followed us pretty much all the way back. Lots of ravens. You know, round trip, we're gonna get 8 miles in today.
Yeah, we are.
You know what?
What?
We didn't even use an internal combustion engine at all. We just walked the whole way, didn't we?
Yeah, we just.
You know what? That means I've earned some carbon credits. I want to trade my carbon credits in for cookies.
Oh, okay. All right. I got some cookies at the house.
Will that work?
Yeah, that'll work.
I stopped at Kelly's place on my way back home after we got off that mountain, and here's this week's cookie clip. What do we have this week?
We have coffee chocolate Krispies. They're a cookie, but the word cookie comes from the Dutch language.
Interesting. We went up on the left-hand side on all those little mountains. It's kind of like a roller coaster ridge to get up there on the left, but we made it and back. This is the final ascent up the side of the hill to get to the big H. It's got a very small little footpath through the fog. It's not too far though. Well, what do you think of this hike so far? You keeping warm?
Oh, no, warm is not a problem at all.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
You got some snow on you and some frost.
I probably do.
Yeah. So you were up here last year, weren't you? Last
Well,
February.
about 2 years ago.
By yourself, right?
Yeah, but I went a different way. So
No, I got to clear something out. I got to clear something out. You know why?
What?
Because some people are probably assuming I just like drug you up here. When it's like, you know what it is? She drugged me up here, everybody.
Douglas, where is the trail? I don't see it.
It's right in that fog there. I can see it really clearly. Just follow me. We'll go right up in there.
Okay.
This is the tough part of the hike. Kelly's being a real trooper because she doesn't like heights or drop-offs, but it's a pretty decent little foot trail. She comes plowing up the side of the mountain. So we're heading up. There's the H.
I can't look at it.
She said she can't look at it, so steep.
I have to wait until we get to a level spot.
Here's the H itself on the side of the mountain. You can hardly see it because the snow's on it. But that's it. That's the outline right there. See? Like that. It's big, but it's a lot bigger than what I was thinking it was.
It's huge.
We're having a good time up here.
Well, it's definitely been an adventure.
You're right on the very top of the H for Hawthorne, Nevada.
I know.
Yeah. You don't like it. It's too high up.
It's too high for me. Way too high.
Well, you know what? We just got a short ways to go above us and we'll be off this.
Yeah, I'm ready to crawl up to that top.
You're a trooper.
Douglas is decided he's going to measure this, and he's got this tape measure hooked across the side of the hill, and he's measuring the width of it.
There's a ladder right there.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if you can see the tape measure. It's a little bit tough to see in the camera, but he is measuring it.
It's almost 28 feet wide.
28 feet wide.
We're at the very top of the H, and it goes down a little bit farther.
And Douglas is going to measure the length of it too. Well, you can't really see Doug, but he's pulling on the tape measure, so I can tell he's down there, but I can't see him at all. I'm a little bit concerned about this, but he seems to feel all right about it. Okay, I hear you, but we can't see you. Barely.
It's 100 feet.
100 feet is what he says. And he's shaking the pole. Now, I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but I could barely see it. But 100 feet down there, he has measured the length of it. Okay, here he comes back. He's hiking right up it, and he doesn't seem to have any issue with this. I think it's extremely steep up here, but he's okay with it, no problem. Douglas just told me it was 110 feet long, not 100 feet. But he got right down there, measured it, didn't have an issue with it, he's coming right back.
It's a lot bigger than I thought. It's 110 feet long. It's a long way.
Yeah, it is.
Kelly, I actually think it must be 113 feet because I've got to figure in this one block up here. So it's about 113 feet. But that's the very, very top of the letter is right here. There's the edge of it. There's the very corner of it right there. My foot is resting right on the top of it, the H. And Kelly's having a great time up here. She likes steep mountainsides. We went up to the left upper side of it, of the letter. Well, Kelly, when I measured the top of that, I just got the very corner of the H. So it's actually a lot wider than what I measured, but you can figure you can more than double that for the width. There's Mount Grant in the distance, and the H is just a little bit to the left of it. There it is. It's got some snow on it, near it right now, so it's a little bit harder to see than normally, but there it is.
Well, I think the snow is really pretty. It hasn't been too deep up here. That hasn't been an issue at all. It's been actually pretty nice, and it's very pretty up here, especially over the bushes and all that.
We're sure glad to get that snow, aren't we?
Yes, we need it.
It's been super, super dry across a lot of areas of the West.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say that this road is in very bad shape. If you want to bring an off-road vehicle up here, you definitely could, but it's pretty rough. Here comes Kelly, coming up the mountain. The road's not the best. We've got kind of a Spartan spot today, but it's lunchtime, so here we are. What do we have today, Kelly?
Well, we're having homemade sandwich rolls, and you've got chicken, and we got some avocados and sprouts and blueberries and hummus, and we got enough for a good lunch.
Yeah, cinnamon roll.
Yeah, you got a cinnamon roll too, and we got some hot tea.
Yes. There's some cattle out here. Got a really nice bull with them. Heading back down into Hawthorne, which you can barely see in the distance on the other side of that hill. Right on the edge of Hawthorne. That was a pretty good walk, wasn't it, Kelly?
Yeah, it was.
Well, everybody, that was a good exercise, hiking up in the snow up to the Big H by Hawthorne, Nevada. We enjoyed it, and we hope you did too. And we'll see you next time. Here's a clearer view of the area. There's the H in the center of the screen. Like I said, that we came up on the left-hand side, all those little hills.